The mighty cheat meals or cheat days. Are they a godsend from the dreadful dieting process, or are they just a remnant from good old diet culture? Well, as with anything in nutrition and weight management and what have you, we need to have some context. But before we dive into that, welcome back to the program, you beautiful people. My name is Dr. Dan. I am a pharmacist turned obesity expert. And before we get moving on, I need you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss another episode. As well, check me out on my other channels at the official Dr. Dan. I'm out just about everywhere. As well, if you need any additional support in your weight management journey, check out our website, healthevolve.ca. You can get all the information there, plus a bunch of free resources. And you can also book a free consult with myself and see if you are a good fit for our program. Like many of you, I enjoyed a very healthy serving of Easter dinner over this past weekend. As well, I enjoyed some Chinese food and pizza too. Why might you ask? Well, other than the fact that both of those foods really should be their own food group because they're fucking amazing, I was also visiting and spending time with my family. And my immediate family had decided that they were going to descend onto my 2-bedroom condo here in Calgary, Alberta, which technically is a 1-bedroom condo at present because one of the bedrooms is currently my office. And what a joyful, cramped experience that was. And as is often the case when it comes to traveling or getting out of your regular routine, none of us felt like cooking, so we got takeout over the weekend. And I can assure you it was 110% worth it. However, if you were to ask a hardcore dieter or diet guru or whatever, they would say, oh my God, not only did you have one cheat meal, you had 3 cheat meals. Like, how could you? Where is the humanity? What are you thinking? You're going to ruin your diet, your lifestyle. Everything is going to shit. All right, maybe I'm being a little bit overdramatic, but you kind of get the point that I'm trying to make here. Now, by and large, there actually is nothing inherently wrong with a cheat meal. And depending on which article or gym bro you happen to be talking to at the time, a cheat meal is defined as abandonment of a rigid or regimented dietary structure of some kind, usually in order to consume a large amount of calories from foods that are generally considered bad. Now, there is actually some evidence to show that a cheat meal might actually have some benefits in terms of managing your weight or along a weight management journey, in terms of helping with some of the physical and psychological aspects that come from being on a restrictive dietary pattern. The gym bros will also try to tell you that a cheat meal will ultimately trick your body to utilize your fat stores instead of the food that's coming into the system and help to keep your metabolism revved up. Now, while our body's physiological state and metabolism can absolutely change due to our dietary patterns, the idea that one meal or even one day can ultimately forego or overcome metabolic adaptation in those various processes is, well, absolutely ridiculous, and there is no evidence to support it. So, I'm sorry, Craig. Now, there is nothing wrong with overindulging or over-consuming an excess amount of calories from Chinese food or pizza or for any food for that matter whatsoever. As with anything, it comes down to when we consume too much of a said item that we run into trouble. So I have no problems with consuming extra calories once a week or having Easter dinner over the weekend or whatever. I have a problem with just the phrasing and the term cheat meal. I mean, really, what do you think of when you hear the word cheat or cheater? You probably think of infidelity or possibly that dink of an ex that you are now thankfully separated from. Or perhaps you're thinking of that kid that ultimately cheated off your history exam during high school. Regardless, when we think about the word cheating, we are thinking about someone that is doing something dishonestly in order to gain some kind of advantage or whatever. So are you acting dishonestly or like your dink of an ex when you're eating pizza then? I really fucking hope not, because pizza is a gift from the gods and deserves to be treated as such. You see, when we think of cheating, we think of something bad, and our society has certainly, and rightfully so, put a negative concept or context around the word cheat, cheating, or cheater, because dishonest people, well, they suck. And for some reason that I'm not entirely sure about, people seem to think when we apply it to our diet and the foods that we eat, all of a sudden it's going to have a different context. In reality, there is no difference. And as much as you might try to put things into a positive context or try to tell yourself that it's something that's good, or hell, you might even enjoy the shit out of that cheat meal, you are still nonetheless an animalistic brain that is driven and hardwired in order to recognize patterns, cues, associations as quickly as possible in order to keep you alive. And if you haven't read the book Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, I highly recommend it. Basically, the premise of this book, it talks about how our brains are a pattern and association recognition machine, and how this pattern and association recognition machines basically will jump to conclusions and ultimately make misjudgments and misappropriations at times that can certainly get us into trouble or fuck us up in some kind of way. So, if we have an association in our brain, in our society, in our culture that says cheating is bad, our brain is automatically going to make that same association when we apply the word cheat, cheating, cheater to any other particular context or idea in our world. So therein lies the problem. We are now saying that when you're having a cheat meal and it involves Chinese food or pizza, you are saying that those foods are a bad thing. You are cheating on your diet, you are cheating on your goals, and you are a cheater or a bad person for having pizza or Chinese food. Now, how fucking stupid does that sound? What a horrible existence it would be to live in where you think that pizza or Chinese food is a bad thing. Further to my problem with using the term cheat meal, there's also some opposite or counter evidence that shows that using this idea of restricting yourself to one meal a week and, going on this restrictive dietary pattern, what have you, can actually lead to some psychological distress when you actually do have that said cheat meal. So a lot of guilt and remorse. And also restricting yourself and having this one bad meal once a week may actually lead to disordered eating patterns or binge eating disorder traits. I mean, I would definitely have some anxiety and distress if I suddenly thought pizza was a bad thing. So you see, there is no good and bad foods. There's just food. Are some foods more nutritious? Abso-fucking-lutely they are. But that doesn't mean less nutritious foods shouldn't be eaten or cut out entirely. Food is a part of our lives. It is a part of our cultures, our societies. It brings people together. And processed foods has had some benefits in the sense of, say, in the 1950s, of allowing women to move away from the kitchen and slogging away and making food all fucking day long to being able to go out into the workforce. So there has been some benefits that have come from processed foods. So food does have the goods and the bads, but in terms of the context, we always need to keep things in balance. As with anything in life, it's all about balance and moderation. Incorporating foods that you genuinely enjoy, no matter how processed they are, is totally okay. And hey, it's even okay to have this said meal or more less nutritious food one time a week if you want, depending if you're working towards certain goals or that's just a part of your lifestyle and it's not leading to any maladaptive patterns or behaviors. Totally okay. So don't call it a cheat meal, maybe a treat meal, or my personal favorite, I always like to say that I'm just having some extra food today. And that extra food might be a cookie, it might be an entire medium pizza. It doesn't really fucking matter what it is, it's just extra food, and I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it either way. So stop demonizing food, really think about the context and the words that you're using in terms of describing maybe your dietary patterns and such like that. But ultimately find what works for you because health is multifaceted and food of different kinds is going to be involved in what health is considered. And guess what? Even if you were to eat like a perfect vegan, skinny tea, liver puree, bulletproof coffee, keto influencer or what have you, you could still go for a walk tomorrow and get hit by a bus. So drop the fucking rules and find some balance in your life. Anyways, that is it for today, you beautiful people. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss another episode. And check me out on my other channels at The Official Dr. Dan. Of course, you can ask me questions on my various platforms. And hey, if you need some additional support, check out our website, healthcareevolved.ca, where you can book a free consult with myself, or you can find some free resources there as well. And until next time, always remember that small tweaks lead to massive peaks.